first, we were evacuated because we were living close to the sea. And they were expecting an invasion from England, so anybody living near the sea had to move. We got a house on the other side of the Hague. You couldn't take it on your own. It was a big house, a townhouse. So we had to take in another family because you imagine thousands of them being evacuated at the same time. So we got a mother and a daughter to stay with us. We shared half the house. And well, actually, I don't know if I should say this, but this house, in its good days, was a house where prostitutes received people. And in the very beginning, my mother and I one evening were walking home, and a beautiful car stopped in front and just got me by the arm. I think my mother almost killed me. Anyway, it was apart from that, it was a beautiful house. And in 1943, they started to take things from us. You had to hand in everything you had that was made of pewter, brass, copper, and you had to go to school. You handed it in, they gave you a paper, and in the evening they went from door to door, and you had to show your paper, what you had handed in. I was always the one who had a big mouth, and I said, no, we didn't hand in anything. And they were normally young soldiers, and really not bad at all, you know. He would go and write himself a little note for me. So, but what we had done, we had hidden it all in the garden. And of course when we took it out after 2 or 3 years, this was 43, I'd say we didn't do it straight away after the war, it was damaged. And I never touched it, I never cleaned it, I left it the way it was. We also, next to us, there was a lady on her own with her daughter, and she said that she had to take German officers, had to give rooms to German officers. She didn't have to, but she did because she wanted the money. So I thought, well, that's not bad, because in 1943 I had joined the resistance. You know what the resistance is? That's a movement where you try to work against the invader, and I was engaged in the Dutch movement, and we both had joined the resistance. So we had a whole installation put into the house, which had the connection with all over Holland. And we had to call every half hour, and then some of them every hour. And this was installed by people who worked at the Central Telephone Organization, which was in the hands of the Germans. But there were still good people working there, and they had installed it. So, and then we typed it, I won't typewriter, and it was collected once a day, and it was sent to London. So this, of course, if they would find out, when they would find out, it would be very dangerous. But when you're young, you don't. I was 19 by then. You don't think about that. And funnily enough, my mother allowed all that. She even allowed meetings between people of this organization to take place in our house. Now I thought it's a good thing to have these German officers next to it, because they will never expect you to do anything right next to it. And we had some weapons. Now, it's a bit dangerous to have weapons in the house. So my fiancé climbed onto the roof and hung them in their chimney. But the big mistake we made, you know, when you have a rifle, you should not hang it with the, I don't know what you call it, the barrel going, taking whatever fumes comes, but we did. And a rifle and a gun. So anyway, of course a lot of other things. We were very short. Things were getting really difficult, especially in 1944. The south of Holland was liberated 9 months before the West. So you got the 3 big cities, Rotterdam, The Hague and Amsterdam. That part was still occupied until May 1945. And they were getting short of clothes, and blankets. So we had to again hand in men's clothing and blankets. And again they would come next day from door to door, and we had to show our little paper. And I would say to them, you killed my father, so we have no money. And they, again, you know, some of them, we can't say that all of them were bad. Some of them were just doing their duty, what they thought was their duty. They wouldn't say anything, they would give me a little note. And very last thing actually was, I'll get the date here. Oh yeah, the other thing they did, they would take bicycles. Anybody out in the street, take the bicycle. And you know, Holland is known for everybody in the country has a bicycle. So they took bicycles and in the street, or April coming to the house. Let me see. I thought I had written down the dates, doesn't make much sense. Do you actually have any idea how this Second World War started? Because they had already got an agreement with Austria, which they called the Anschluss. Then they wanted Poland. Well, how they were going to do it? Hitler, by this time, he had already an army and an air force, unbelievable. France, England, nobody was ready, but they were. So they wanted Poland. They wanted Poland because they wanted also to get the Jews. There were many Jews in Poland. What they did was Hitler agreed to, already he had concentration camps. The first concentration camp was Dachau in Poland. That's the first one he made. But before getting into Poland, he decided, because they had a border, Poland, Germany, he decided to get about 10 bodies of Germans. Anybody who didn't agree with what he did was already in Germany, and Germans itself, they were in the prison. So they took a group of Germans, killed them by a lethal injection, put Polish army uniforms and dropped them in Germany, just across the border, where they had a very important radio station. They set fire to that. That was so-called, the Poles did that. And then they went in, just went in, and bombed Warsaw and a few other big cities. Never expected to get a straight answer from England. If you do not turn around within 2 hours, we'll bomb Warsaw. And Hitler said, they're not ready. They're not ready. But Himmler said to him, it's not only going to be Great Britain, it's going to be France as well. Within a few hours, actually, France was the second. And within 5 hours, they had war with England, France, and Poland. So that was in 39, the 3rd of September 39. So